What's up, you beautiful Redditors? Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday. Welcome to the RNEWS Evening Show. And let's just jump into it. From r/news. Police officers shoot and kill Los Angeles security guard. He ran because he was scared. So the cops just assumed guilt and killed him. WTF. Oh yeah, they're cops. Just a fact of life that they're the enemy of innocent people. The cops aren't allowed to shoot guilty people either. Since when did police follow laws? Stop freaking shooting people. Hey, number 2. Stop shooting people. I'll believe he was armed if we gave footage from beginning to end. Never taking the cops' word for someone's action on anything ever again. They have incentive to lie. It doesn't matter if he was armed. This is the US. They have more guns than people. Their police should know how to interact with an armed person without killing them. It's not acceptable to say you were afraid cause he had a gun. Now they shoot security guards. Well, I guess that they want to make their freaking jobs harder. WTF. Do something useful as a cop. They've been doing it for a while. Remember when they shot that security guard for stopping a mass shooting at a bar? You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/news. Toronto police officer ordered to remove Punisher patch from uniform. The Punisher is an anti-hero. His sole purpose is to serve vigilante punishment on criminals when the system is too incompetent or corrupt to do so. Wearing the Punisher skull as a cop is such an oxymoron. It's comical. Edit. Grammar are not good. He's wearing it to feel like a badass, not because he actually watched the Punisher. Lots of cops become cops to feel badass. They had to stop bullying once high school ended. So this is a way to placate their insecurities. Hey, nice giant shiny pickup truck you got. Let's forget for a second that it's a patch in poor taste. Why the hell would you be allowed to decorate your police uniform with private patches? Do you think you work at a freaking tacky chain restaurant and you need to meet your swag requirement? I believe it's called flair. Maybe he could replace it with a Judge Dredd patch. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/news. Uighurs accuse China of mass detention, torture in landmark complaint. Why is the world so silent on a mass genocide of this scale? Are the masses that afraid of offending the Chinese? Sad truth is no country has any political gain from helping them. That's my conclusion too. The humanitarian piece of global policy has always been secondary to the economic resources element. When there's nothing to be gained by a country other than the moral high ground, the way of that reason seems to disappear real quick. Never again, asterisk, asterisk, subject, to terms, and conditions, restrictions, may, apply. It's important to keep in mind that even when the Holocaust was occurring, the world did not move to fight Hitler because of the genocide he was committing, but because of his territorial conquests. A ship of Jewish refugees was turned back to Germany during the Holocaust. Unfortunately, the loss of human lives doesn't mean anything to the powers at large until the wars start affecting their money, territory. www.google.com. Landmark complaint, huh? So China can give an even bigger "we don't give a frick" and no one will do anything about it? Great. Monumental. The Chinese government frankly doesn't care whether global opinion of China is positive or negative. Just so long as the world doesn't think of them as weak. They're well aware that humanitarian always takes a backseat to profitable. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/World News. Horrifically catastrophic. Report finds so-called US war on terror has displaced as many as 59 million people. War of terror. Exactly. It's downright Orwellian that we ubiquitously use the word terrorist only to refer to enemies of the state. The US military commits acts of terror all the goddamn time. Example. www.aljazeera.com. War on terror, war on drugs. What other wars has America lost that it should have never fought? War on democracies in Latin America. Not only did it displace millions, it created as many, and realistically many more, terrorists as were actually killed. Oddly enough, launching thousands of drone strikes with high civilian death tolls tends to create extremists that hate you, and are willing to join extremist groups to get revenge on you. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/news. Dr. Fauci says it's unlikely a coronavirus vaccine will be ready by US election. He just says obvious crap and somehow it's newsworthy because everyone else in the government says crap. That's completely insane and wrong. Edit. Apparently all I have to do is make obvious observations and I'll get upvotes. Yeah, vaccines take years to test and roll out. It's not newsworthy to say we won't have a man on Mercury before the election either. Well, this vaccine is different because they're skipping a lot of stages to get to human trials. But I agree it's not crazy newsworthy. What steps are getting skipped? Steps aren't getting skipped, they're just being overlapped, with a phase 2 trial beginning at the same time as a phase 1. Vaccines are still going to be held to the same standard they were before. But the process is being consolidated as much as possible. Someone else linked this website which tracks progress of a bunch of vaccines. newsinteractives.cbc.ca. Who you gonna believe? The scientist that has studied viruses and pandemics most of his life, or the guy that lies about nearly everything he's involved in? Some additional things that are unlikely. A. Are removing microtransactions from FIFA and Madden. Paul Rubens replacing Keanu Reeves in the next John Wick. Jessica Alba and Taylor Swift double dating. Me. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/World News. Teenagers sue the Australian government to prevent coal mine extension on behalf of young people everywhere. You'd think with all that landmass in Australia there would be good opportunity to invest in solar power or salt or whatever instead of just destroying the earth. For those asking. Molten salt reactor. Molten salt reactor en.m.wikipedia.org. But then how would the coal billionaires make all their money? Here is an article explaining how one billionaire could keep Australia hooked on coal for decades. Let me guess, Clive Palmer. You mean Fatty McFrick? Gautam Adani, but still a good guess. As a Queenslander, Frick Adani, and I remember Anna Palaszczuk allowing it to go ahead in its state election soon. Hey Anna, as a voter I remember. Time to go bye-bye. Not quite, it was 2014 under a Liberal government that was given the go-ahead. If Palaszczuk said no, the state would be in breach of contract that the Liberals fricked us over with. You could look at it a trap if you want. Make sure your anger is focused at the right people. Greg Hunt and the Liberal Party. Not saying Anna isn't blameless, but the lion's share shouldn't be on her. I do not doubt his heart, only the reach of his arm. I hate how the Australian government is just full of oil and natural gas manufacturers, and while I doubt the lawsuit will go through, it might create awareness. Won't somebody think of the children? And that's where we're going to end today's show. But if you like what you saw, leave a like. And if you want to see more of the RNews show, hit that subscribe button. As always, this has been the RNews show and I'll see you tomorrow.